Have you ever wondered or thought about what it would be like to eat locally? So I started out just over 100 days ago now with the intention of eating locally in a radius of 100 miles or 160 kilometers. So I created a 100-mile life journey. So that included food. It included my fiber sources. It included my life. Here's a breakdown of kind of what happened in a first week. Simple? Hope so. Hi, thanks for joining me today. My name is Doll, or Barbara, and I am Doll Can Create, and I believe you can too. So that's who I am. I'm a creating person. I create my life from the things that I've been blessed with. So today, in my cozy rocking chair and my cup of coffee, which just happens to match my crazy top that I thrifted yesterday. We'll talk about that another time. My second cup of the day. And I seem to enjoy my second cup more than anything, so I may need to rethink that. I do have my notes in front of me. So let's just dive right in here. I challenged myself. Initially, it was going to be a week, and then I thought, no, let's do the 100 days, 100 miles, 100 days. And that took me up to Easter. I did have a list of things that I would allow myself that were not part of that 100-mile radius. Things like tropical fruit, coffee. Guess what? I need coffee. I'm sorry. So bananas, especially grapes. A couple of different vegetables that are not greenhouse grown right now. So I did allow a little bit of that, but I have a lot in my pantry and a lot in my fridge. So if it was already in my pantry, it counted because it was here already. And of course, this happened just before the tariffs came in and everyone where I am, and actually all across Canada, we're talking about buying Canadian. Well, I took it down a little bit farther, as I may have said in an earlier video, to being that much more local. The idea was simple, profound even. I wanted to deepen my connection to the land, aiming to support local. I wanted to explore what it would truly mean to eat closer to home. And I know that as we're now into spring, things are going to get better as far as produce goes. Not going to be long. We're coming up on the 1st of May soon. Asparagus will be local. Oh, yum. So good. So there's lots of things. Strawberries, mid to end of June, depending on how warm we get it. But here's a kind of a breakdown of what I would have eaten for a week. Breakfast, if I ate breakfast at all, because I sometimes don't. I do intermittent fasting. So if I was eating breakfast, it would be eggs, maybe some cheese that's produced within the 100-mile. Again, English muffins that I got at Costco came from Oak Run Bakery, which is in Brantford, which is fairly close, right? Yeah. Starting the day with good, solid local food just felt grounding. It felt solid. I thought, this is it. This is a good way to dive in. And a lunch, how about soup? Now, soup can be so easy, and I reinforced myself with that thought this week when I made some more. So carrot, potato, onion. And if you're interested in that specific recipe, let me know. All vegetables were local. They're winter vegetables, right? Carrot, potato, onion. I made my own stock. I had cooked up some chicken thighs in the cast iron pan in the oven, so they were roasted. So I had a little bit of that fat left over that I added some water to and created the chicken stock from that. Oh, it was so tasty. What did I add? I added some basil. I had a pot of basil on the counter that kind of withered. So I crushed that up and I put in it. I put in salt and pepper, neither of which are local, but they're essential for me. And oh, it was so good. It was so good. And I turned to Nick and he agreed with me and he said, you can make that again. So that'll be there. I had some carrots, local carrots that I hadn't used for a long time. I hadn't even looked at because I had lots of carrots in stock. And they were all growing fuzzy roots and whatever. So I cleaned them up, I scrubbed them down, chopped them up in little tiny pieces, and it just added that depth of flavor. I had some cooked potatoes that I peeled and put in. The onion that was in the bottom of the crisper was looking a little wonky, so I pulled the skin off for my dyeing project for my fiber. Again, 100 Mile. And what else? I had a mushroom. I had mushrooms that were local, so I cut that and put in there too. So there's all sorts of things you can add. I also had some over dried garlic, so I put these 3 little pieces garlic cloves in and then pulled them out just to give them some flavor. But it was all about, soup, yeah. And a simple lunch for me, a plate of cheese, apples, and the orchard's only like 15 miles away. Pickles from last summer, pickled veggies of other kinds were on the plate. They were really, really good. I had some tortilla, also made egg salad sandwich spread to go inside the tortilla, rolled that up, and we had sandwiches. And the tortillas were also locally made. So for a dinner, I did it's called Comfort in a Casserole. So it was ground beef and rice. And the rice was not local, but I didn't buy it. It was already in my pantry. So I need to look at how would I go about. Rice is going to be on the food shortage list because the rice fields are not doing well. So I may have to exchange rice for something else. Maybe barley. Barley I can get that's Canadian. I don't know if it's local, but I can get it. Anyway, this casserole, ground beef, rice, and herbs, again, from the garden. I had some sage as well. The beef is local. And I can plan ahead. I can make a casserole like that and divide it up, put it in the freezer, and have it for another day. And that's what I often do. I mean, there's only 2 of us, so a big casserole dish might do us 4 meals. Dinner tonight, lunch tomorrow, and then 2 more meals in the freezer. Another kind of dinner would be a veggie skillet supper, so cabbage, carrots, onion, all local, right? Sausage, which I can get locally, all tossed together. The sausage is from a family-run butcher around here. Really, really good. And I can get it mild, so it's not overly spicy. So this is just a simple breakdown. Brunch for dinner for a day. That's eggs and fried potatoes and toast, local bread, homemade bread, and rhubarb preserves. So something that I had done with strawberries. It was rhubarb strawberry, I believe. All within 50 miles. So this is really, really close. Making it simple. Making it simple. And there's something really joyful in keeping things simple. And you make it special. You put it on your pretty plates. You light a candle on the table. You turn the TV off. You turn the music off. It's just you or you and your family discussing the day. And isn't that wonderful? So somebody said, well, what about after? And in our household, after was dessert. So what's for after, right? Baked apples. I have apples. A splash of cream. I get my dairy delivered on Monday morning. With cream, milk, and chocolate milk. And it's all within 50 miles. It's all within 20 miles, 30 miles. It's really close. Really like it. Baked apples, oats, cream, brown sugar. Brown sugar processed and made in Canada. White sugar is, yeah, not 100 mile though, not 100 mile, but a little bit of sugar. You need some sweetness at the end, right? So this is how it went. Each week was a little bit different. More eggs or less. Potatoes. I still have some sweet potatoes that were Ontario potatoes. Sweet potatoes, not necessarily white or russet. I still have those. I have some frozen corn. So anything that's still in the pantry will be used. I am buying Canadian as much as I can. And friends, it's not always easy. I mean, I can buy Canadian coffee beans, roasted coffee beans, but the coffee is not made in Canada, right? It's not grown in Canada. But we can still help the producers here. And I can do that locally, which is good. So what did I learn from all of this? And I'm going to point out 3 different things for you about what I learned on this 100-mile journey with regards to food. Planning is essential. Local eating takes some thought. It takes intention. But the reality is, once your initial research is done, it's done. And it's a lot less complicated than you might think. Fresher is always better. Fresher food, fewer miles on the road. Maybe there's a story in every bite. I have to think about that. When I receive veggies from friends of ours at the end of the summer, the harvest, I feel like there's a story. And number 3, it's about the connection. So the connection to the people who are growing things for you, the seasons, the neighbors, and how's that reflected in your life and your own values. I'm reminded often that for me specifically, food isn't just about fuel for the body, it's about relationship. So it's not just that I'm feeding the body that needs to be fed, but I'm feeding the connection with family. When the family gathered for Easter dinner last week, I'm connecting with Nick, who sits across from me 2, 3, 4 times a day. It's that relationship, and it's rooted in care and closeness. And every moment becomes a little bit of grace found in life. So yes, it's been a little more than 100 days. Will I continue? Yes, I'm definitely going to continue. And as I said, as the harvest starts coming in, as the early crops start coming in, it'll be more and more and more. And I have an intention of canning more, putting it up so that I don't have to go through this every winter and find, okay, well, who's growing what in what greenhouse and all that. Make it simple for myself. I don't mind canning. I love canning. So I'll be doing that. I will continue. Now, on the outside of all of this food is my fiber business. And I'm still working on a fleece I bought last fall, dyeing it, carding it, spinning it. And there'll be more information about that in the coming week or so. But that's really where my thoughts started in supporting the Canadian wool industry. There's some great woolen mills. There's a few in Ontario. 100-mile, yes, I think there's one 100-mile. But I can also process myself. Oh, there's more than one 100-mile for sure, at least 2, if not more. So I'm going to continue with that. And like I said, that'll be a separate video. But what I'm doing right now is I'm putting together a 7-day menu plan that most of us can follow, that will include checklists and a few simple recipes. If that interests you, please let me know in the comments. Go to the blog, sign up for the blog emails so that you'll know right away when it's released. I'm really excited about this. Initially, it will be free. The checklists, it's sort of a pantry chart kind of thing, and a few simple recipes. And I'm giving that back to you for supporting me by subscribing. So watch for that in future videos and especially on the blog. So I will put the blog post link in the bottom of the YouTube description and hope to see you over on the blog. And I would like it if you could share your experience either here or on the blog about what living locally is like for you. So for now, that's it. This is Doll from Doll Can Create, knowing that you can too, if that is your choice. I have some spinning to do today. Yay. I have some cooking to do today. I have laundry to do today, as well as some deep spiritual reading because I'm still on my study leave. So lots on the docket, and I hope whatever is on your plan or schedule this weekend that you are able to lockstep with whoever is in your life. Maybe share some really great eco things that are green, things that are economically sound. So eco being ecologically and also being frugal, economy. Those are two separate things, but they really do come together. Anyway, for now, may God bless till next time. Thanks for watching, friends. Bye for now.